My mom is joining me on the show today?
Hello.
Are you getting the best deal? Price comparison shopping. So, you got some cash. Maybe from an allowance, or that money your grandma gave you for your 7th birthday.
Here you go, sweetie.
Woohoo! Thanks, Grandma! Whatever it is, what are you going to do with it? Spend it? Hide it away? Or maybe invest it? Let's start learning how to make that money grow. Time to learn how to be a cash kid. Welcome back, Cash Kid audience. We are so excited every week to see our listener count grow and your involvement in the Cash Kid movement to build the savviest and educated generation financially. I get asked a lot about how people can be a part of the Cash Kid podcast movement. First of all, you can follow us on our social channels at Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Just search Cash Kid Podcast and start following us. Interact with our content by sharing, liking, or commenting. Also, we've got merch. Purchasing this merch directly helps us continue to produce this podcast and help market our efforts. And join our mailing list. No, we actually don't send a lot of emails. Actually, it's just once a month. But this list is a great way to stay up to date on giveaways and a recap of what we covered on the podcast recently. Alright, let's jump into today's discussion, price comparison shopping. There are lots of ways parents can be involved in helping their kids learn about finances. I've had some instances over the last few months where my parents have stepped in to keep me or my siblings from making a quick purchase, to stop and think about it and do some more research before buying. One instance was when my dad took us fly fishing for the first time in March. I loved it. And I came home and right away started filling up my cart with brand new fly fishing gear. I wanted to go fly fishing again. My mom, however, was like, "Why are you buying new gear? Save your money and search trading sites and yard sales for used gear. You'll be able to spend half the money and you don't really need to buy new stuff, especially at your age." I knew then I needed to think more about comparing prices and options before I spent my hard-earned money. So, let's talk about how to get the most bang for your buck. Now, how do you know if you found the best deal? First, you need to learn the skills of price comparison. This means taking the time to research and compare prices of similar products from different retailers. We can easily do this at home online. Many websites offer price comparison tools that allow you to easily compare prices from different retailers. We use a Chrome extension called PayPal Honey that while we shop around online, it will bring up a pop-up telling us that the price comparison difference of the item is the same across different stores or not. Then, when we go to check out, it will try out various coupons to see if any will work with our purchase. Another is Simply Codes. It's an app and an extension online to pull up coupon codes and deals. Let's give a real-world example. Let's say we're shopping for a new GoTrax electric scooter. First, let's search on Google. You may see right away options from different stores. Our Honey and Simply Codes widgets show up the side and will tell us the price difference between some stores, and Honey will actually tell us the price history of this item over time. So don't just settle for the first price you see. Another example is this past week, my little brother wanted to buy a new snow cone machine. We found one we wanted on Amazon for real cheap, but when we went to check out, the shipping was almost the same price as the item. Why does shipping a snow cone machine take $23? I don't even know. If I chose the next day, it was $109. And then I searched around and found one on a different website, which with a higher base price but a lower shipping price, which overall ended us at a lower cost than it would have been for our first option. So just by taking a couple 1 to 5 minutes to search around and use those widgets that pop up, we're able to save a lot more money just by spending a couple extra minutes, and we're still getting the same product. Now, I'm going to bring my mom into this conversation to share a few of her thoughts on price comparison. Welcome to the show, Mom.
Thanks for having me, Cash Kid. And We may be the same height now.
Taller. But anyway, what are some skills you were taught or learned about price comparison?
Okay, well, I come from a long line of frugal women in my life. Probably until my 30s, I had what I termed full price phobia, which meant I would literally go without something I needed just because I wasn't willing to pay full price. I've grown out of that over the last 10 years, and we'll talk more about that later. I can remember, though, my mom taking me grocery shopping with her, and it felt like it took forever because, we would be searching through coupons my mom had clipped to only get those items that were on sale, and we had to have a coupon. So we had to stick to that. My grandmother was one of those people who was savvy enough to use coupons and watch sales to go to checkout, and the store would owe her money. So I remember seeing the receipts, so it was pretty impressive to see that. Now, using coupons grocery shopping, that isn't a big of a thing anymore. So it's been a shift to buying store brand items to save, or buying things when it's buy one, get one free, and stocking up. Now, you like to do that with gum. The Cash Kid loves gum. And if our Publix has it buy one, get one free, he always asks me to stock up and save that way.
Yep.
Now, buying in bulk at places like Costco and Sam's Club is a way to save with a lot of household items. I've done the price comparison on several items of buying a snack we like in bulk at Costco versus buying several boxes of the same item at a regular grocery store, and it's almost always usually cheaper to buy in bulk. Now, when inflation hit hard, I took my grocery list and did a price comparison from a few grocery stores in the area to see what the difference would be and where we could save on staple items the most. So these are just things that us parents do a lot to try and save a little here and there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you talk sometimes about whether it's worth the time to save money. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so, before the internet, if you wanted to price compare, you had to drive around from store to store, which took up a lot of time. But today, which took up a lot of time. But today, we can easily do a lot of price comparison shopping online, especially for larger items like your Go Tracks example. Before, moms had to go from store to store to check out the prices. But sometimes there's what we call a matter of convenience and factoring in your time. A small example is it's summertime and we love watermelon in our house. I mean, we've even educated ourselves on how to pick out the best watermelons at the store to make sure it's really ripe and going to be sweet. So you can message the Cash Kid if you want to know how to do that because he's really good at it. And last week, we made a last-minute decision that we wanted to get a watermelon and take it to my parents and eat it for dinner. But to get one at our local farmer's market on the road that we were going down, it was $10, which seems crazy to begin with. Now, I knew watermelons at Costco were only $6.99, and I had been in the store a few days earlier, and I saw them, but I didn't grab one at the time. But now it was pulling on my frugal instincts. $3. But in no way would it have been worth our time to spend the extra 25 minutes it would have taken to run to Costco to save $3 than just get the perfectly good one at a store on the road to where we were going. So that happens sometimes where I've got a long list of items I need from one store, but maybe only a couple of items from another store where I know it's cheaper, but depending on the price and dragging 3 kids to another store, it's better to just get it all from one place. So that's just planning ahead and, factoring in your time. Now, parents debate these things with every purchase. We work hard for our money, and we just want to stretch those dollars as far as we can.
Also, with the up and rising gas prices, it can also have a huge impact, just being able to travel from one store to another and the time. So is the quality of an item ever a factor in price comparison shopping?
Oh, yeah. And this is something where I know kids don't like to ask their parents' input sometimes on things. They want to just make their purchase. But you need to get their advice, okay? Parents have been there, done that, made the wrong purchase, especially on a large item. And this also comes honestly with experience. It's important to learn how to be a smart and conscious buyer. Do your research first. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Kind of like your example, the shipping was just as much as the item, even though the item was cheap. And I stated earlier how I used to say I had full price phobia, and I would buy the cheaper quality item, But over time, I realized if I would focus on buying more quality items, especially staple items, like let's just say a good pair of shoes, for instance, it would last me longer and it was a wiser choice. Now, sometimes a lower price may seem appealing, but if the quality is poor, well, you'll just end up spending more in the long run.
Right.
So always make sure to check the reviews and do your research before making a purchase. And also, we talked about in episode a couple of weeks ago about watching out for fake websites. So be sure to check out episode 34 to make sure you're purchasing from places that are legit.
Yeah.
So be able to check that out. Now, that doesn't mean I still don't try to shop for a deal on quality items. That's where your tips come in from earlier of shopping around online and using coupon codes. When there's a holiday, it's usually a good time to get a deal on an item that's usually not on sale.
Yeah, Black Friday sales are a huge impact around the holidays to make people buy more items. Thanks, Mom, and I know you could talk about this for a long time. Trust me, she could. As I get a lot of input from both my parents on purchasing decisions.
I felt some sarcasm there.
Nope, just a little teenage eye roll. So, let's recap some tips here. Don't settle for the first price you see. Don't rush into a purchase, do your research, and pull up various store sites to compare prices. Search for coupon codes and deals. Check out simplycoast.com or the PayPal Honey app. Consider buying used equipment. Check out Facebook and local trading sites or eBay. Sometimes buying in bulk is a better deal for families. Consider your time in spending extra time to get the best deal. And try to buy good quality items. We especially want kids to learn these skills early on in life. It's never too early to start learning how to stretch your money and make smart purchasing decisions. What tips do you have for price comparison shopping? We'd love for you to share that with us by emailing us at cashkidpodcast@gmail.com. Remember, anyone can be a cash kid. You just have to learn how to become one. Cash Kid, out.
The information presented represents the views and opinions of the guest. This podcast does not intend to provide personal investment advice. This content has been made for informational and educational purposes only. To make a full and informed investment decision, we advise you to speak with a financial advisor. And for kids, definitely your parents first before investing.